the holiday season can really bring up a lot of feelings. If things are amazing in life and challenging in business, or amazing in business and challenging in life, or it just brings up feelings or emotions of past things that maybe feel uncomfortable. It's kind of can be a heavy season. It's joyous, but also you could be experiencing some feelings that are uncomfortable or sad or just not great. Like life can be shitty sometimes. And so I wanted to talk about that and kind of give you permission to feel the feelings and hold space for all the things that are happening for you right now. So this episode isn't all about product strategy and things you can do to grow your business. This is about really personal development. And as you'll see, it's a little inside look to a conversation that I had with a friend recently. So I hope you enjoy the chat. Hey friend, quick question for you. Are you feeling stuck with how to get your brand to stand out on Faire? I'm asking you because as a buyer myself, I can tell you that there are just so many brands out there vying for the attention of these buyers, but I know that your brand has something so special and it needs to be seen. I put together a private podcast for you that goes deeper into what buyers are really looking for on the Faire platform and how you can stand out from the crowd to grow your wholesale business and really land those dream buyers. So if this resonates with you, head to the link in the show notes for instant access. Hey, welcome back to the Buyer Side Chat. So today's episode is a little bit different, or a lot different, actually. I was having a conversation recently with a business friend of mine turned really close personal friend. We met in a mastermind a couple of years ago. So it started out as a business friendship, and we started Voxering back then just to brainstorm business ideas with one another. And our friendship just really grew, and now we Voxer for business and personal. So we share a lot, and it's really just supportive and nice to have business friends turned like real legit friends. And I'm sure you have at least one of those. And if you don't have one of those yet, find one, because it really is just so supportive whenever you have that safe space that you can just talk about things that are going on in your business and your life, and just how, when we're entrepreneurs, it kind of blends together. Things can kind of cross over into, how you're feeling outside of business, and your personal life can transition or translate over to how you're feeling in your business and vice versa. And it's just really nice to have that safe space. Where I caution it is if it starts to get like toxic and you're just focusing on what's not working, then it's time to maybe reevaluate that dynamic. But for me, I'm really fortunate to have a few women in my life that are just really incredible business friends and real friends. And I was having a conversation recently with a friend who has very graciously agreed to let me share our conversation with you today. We were talking about, for me, I was talking about how life just still feels really heavy for me. A couple episodes back, I shared with you all like my decision to close my gifting business. And that still feels like it was the absolute right, perfect thing for me to do. I feel like that there, hands down, was the right decision for me with where I'm at. Do I miss it? Absolutely. I love it so much. And it's very weird going through the holiday season without it. I'll be honest, like that feels weird, but I know that it was the right decision for me. So I've found myself just kind of transitioning and figuring out like what my day-to-day looks like and what it's like to have more capacity to do the mentorship and the education side of things that I just love so much. So like I've been navigating that, and it's felt really, really good. I feel so aligned. On the flip side, if you listen to those episodes, you already know what I'm about to say with, going through infertility, and I'm still dealing with that. So while I have this really awesome side of things happening in my life, meaning I'm working in alignment, I have new clients that I've onboarded, recently brought in a whole new group of amazing brands into the Faire Bootcamp, and just feel like I'm working in my like zone of genius and just love it so much. On the flip side, life is really hard. And so here we are at the holiday season, holidays bring up so much for all of us, right? And I'm faced with things are good on one side. And on the other side, this is not how I thought life was going to look like right now. I'm still like grieving what I'm going through. I'm still going through it. I'm still in the thick of it. So we were just having this conversation around like, okay, it's okay to not like life right now. It's okay for things to not be good. It's okay to experience and hold space for both. So I'm going to share this recording of a Voxer conversation that I had with my friend who is sadly going through her own version of hell, which is her mother was recently diagnosed with cancer. And she's going through that while also experiencing a lot of success in her business. She does not work in the product business world, but she has a very successful business of her own. And she's balancing this as well. And so this is the conversation that we were having. Again, she graciously has agreed to let me share this conversation with you. I'm not going to share her name, of course, or any additional details, but I just want you to hear this because it really resonated with me. And even though I know so much of this, I've heard this before, it just kind of hit me at a point when I needed to hear it most. And so for those of you going through, any challenges of your own, or even if just things are hard right now, things could be amazing on one side and something could be really frustrating on the other. Business could be amazing. Personal life could be challenging. Personal life could be amazing. Business can be challenging. It's rare that everything is working in perfect synchronous harmony at all times, right? So I'm just going to share this. I hope that it resonates with you. And then I'll pop back on and talk a little bit more about it.
I want to share something with you. I've been going through, hard season with my mom. I know it's different. It's completely different. It's like even more personal because it's something you're going through literally like your body is going through. But like, it's okay to like not like life right now. It is okay to not be okay with how things are in this season. And I think that there is like, I don't know, it's just something that I've really had to come to terms with as I've been going through a difficult season. I think that there's this like, especially in personal development as an entrepreneur, diving into some of these things, like it just can become almost like toxic positivity and like this whole feeling like we need to engineer feeling good all the time. And if something doesn't feel good, then that means it's wrong. And then we feel like shame around feeling bad and not feeling happy. And we're like, why am I not happy? Let me like be grateful. And like, I'm like, yes, please, with gratitude. And gratitude does get me into such a much better place, but not at the expense of like, I can't be unhappy. So let me practice gratitude so I can like stuff down this unhappiness and discontentment. Like, I think that the personal development that needs to be taught is holding both, no, I don't like the way life is right now. And like, that's okay. Like, I'm so grateful, but I'm not going to gaslight myself into believing that like, oh, everything is fine, because it's not. And I don't feel good, and I think to some extent that just gives us a little bit of permission to like, just be a human and like not make ourselves wrong. I think sometimes the negativity that comes from feeling wrong and feeling shame around it is worse, So I don't know. I just want to share that with you. Like, it's okay. And like, my friend Rachel, Rachel Tree, she talks about this all the time. She's writing a book about it. But like, joy isn't a personality trait. Like, it's something that sometimes you have to dig deep. Like you were saying, like you have to dig deep and find it, and you have to cultivate it, and you have to kind of like figure out, the pockets of joy that you can find. But that doesn't mean you have to ignore or suppress or push down the fact that things are really hard and they really suck. So I just wanted to share that with you because it's just given me just empowered me a lot around like, hey, I'm going through a really hard season right now. I had my highest income month ever. We hit 7 figures in our business. I feel a lot of peace and like contentment and joy. And yet things are really hard. Things do not feel good. I do not like the situation that I'm experiencing right now. And so I think like we fall into that whole like kind of new age stuff of like, and I do believe there's science behind this, but like oh, we have to vibe at this high frequency or we're not going to be successful or we're not going to feel good. Like we have to vibe high so we can attract these things. And I'm just like here to say, like, no, it's not a either or. It's not a, oh, if you're vibing low, if you're feeling bad, like then nothing is going to work out for you. And I feel like you're a pretty good testament to that too. Just like going over the last year, like you have seen success with your launches and, things have not felt good. And yet, things are working out. And I pray that like the launch continues to go well with this. I just wanted to share that little kind of reframe that I've had recently, the last like few months, that I felt like has helped me actually move forward with some things and create some momentum. So yeah.
All right, I'm back. And wow, right? I have listened to that conversation or that message from her multiple times. I started it, saved it down, listened to it multiple times. It was really like cathartic for me to hear that. And I hope that it resonated with you too, no matter what you have going on, right? And there were kind of two big takeaways or things that I've taken away from that. And the first one is we're always navigating seasons in life and business, right? Like we're always navigating that. And when she was talking about how we need to allow ourselves to hold space for both and truly let both things exist, experience the joy and the excitement around the things that are good, feel gratitude for the things that are going well or that you're truly genuinely grateful for. We have to tap into that gratitude. That's so, so important. But also hold space for the things that maybe are hurting or if you're going through pain. And like particularly during the holiday seasons, it brings up so much. You might think that everything's going great, but then holidays come up and then you're suddenly remembering someone who's no longer with you, or it's reminding you of something maybe from your past that doesn't feel very good. Or it could be bringing up a lot of great joy. And so lean into that. Whatever is kind of coming up for you during this time of year, like really lean into that. I'm not trying to come in and be this like therapist or pretend that I'm this, whatever, motivational speaker. I'm not trying to be a Tony Robbins here. This isn't really what this podcast is about, but also I really genuinely believe in doing this kind of work alongside product strategy and business strategy because it goes hand in hand. And it's important to have these conversations because we are human beings experiencing life. We're on this planet for the first time ever. We're all experiencing this for the first time ever and giving ourselves grace. Like I've talked about this in the past, like giving yourself grace to experience that and just be human, and let life happen the way it's happening and experience it and address the feelings and holding space for all the feelings. So if you are feeling like pulled in two directions right now, like it's okay to have that happen. Hold space for gratitude, be happy about the things that are going well, but also it's okay to not feel great. It's just a matter of how long you sit in that, which this actually reminds me. So I'm going to share something that I saw on Instagram recently from one of the brands that went through the Faire boot camp, Debbie from Do Good Candles. So she doesn't know I'm shouting her out on this. She has a beautiful candle line. She just recently opened up a beautiful store in Fargo with her daughter. They're in business together, which is just so inspiring. And she shared something on her Instagram recently, and I want to just read it to you guys. I'll drop a link to the post here. You should give her a follow. She's wonderful. So let me just share what she said. Okay, so it's a carousel slide. So bear with me. I'm going to read through her slides for a second. This holiday season is going to look and feel different for our family, and it's bringing up a lot of feelings. We have been able to maintain a tradition of having brunch at my sister's house on Christmas Eve. It's something we all look forward to and talk about for weeks in advance. Ever since moving to Fargo, we made the hour trip, sometimes on very icy roads, to be there. But this year, things will be different. Back when we decided to open up our store, we knew the holidays would look different. But as it gets closer, the change is feeling more real and sad. The holidays are a time of tradition, connection, and celebration, but they can also be a time of change, whether unexpected or not. Maybe the meal didn't turn out the way you hoped, the weather forced a change in travel plans, or a cherished tradition simply could not happen this year. The heart of the holidays isn't about perfect plans. It's about showing up imperfectly and creating a meaningful moment in whatever way that we can. Learning to go with the flow does not mean you won't feel disappointed when things don't go as planned or hoped, but it allows space for new memories. Sometimes the most treasured moments happen when we adjust to change, like gathering around a board game when the power goes out or improvising dinner after a travel delay. This season, let's give ourselves permission to adjust, pivot, and let go of perfection. A change in plans does not erase the love, warmth, and joy we create. It only reminds us that the holidays, like life, are beautifully imperfect. I read that literally like days after my friend sent me that message, and it was like, okay, I needed to hear that too. So thank you, Debbie, for posting that, because I didn't open a store recently, but I'm experiencing something where I needed to hear that message too, because with my IVF journey that I'm on, I'm not able to travel home to be with my family for Christmas this year. And so like, that sucks, right? So I'm dealing with like, okay, I have to change my holiday plans and find joy in a different way. I'm still going to get to see my family and be grateful for the fact that my family is still, understanding, is so understanding, I should say. And here on this planet, for me to be able to see them, it's just going to look different this year. And so, yeah, that just really resonated with me. And I wanted to share that with you because I hope that resonates for you too, no matter what the holidays bring up for you. And I hope you have the most perfect, beautiful holiday season. But if things are a little different, like if the meal doesn't turn out quite right, like it's cool, we're still good, right? The other thing, I want to go back to the conversation with my friend and touch on what she brought up around toxic positivity. Toxic positivity is such a thing because as business owners, we have to pick ourselves up and keep going and like tell ourselves, it's okay. That was really crappy. Things aren't good right now, but I just have to show up on Instagram and I have to do these things. And like, I just have to tell myself things are freaking awesome and they're going to be good around the corner. Like, let's just get through it. And I always preach to maintain that forward vision and focus on the big picture. And sometimes I wonder, am I preaching toxic positivity? There's a difference between toxic positivity and ignoring what's happening and masking those feelings and just completely disregarding it versus addressing it, allowing space for those feelings and emotions, allowing things to not be great, right? Like if this holiday season is not looking like what you thought it would, we all have been thinking, okay, business is going to turn after the election. It's a shorter holiday time window. So people are going to be like shopping in bursts. I'm recording this right before Thanksgiving. So I don't know what's coming right around the bend, but it's been a little slower to pick up for most brands. So I'm praying for all of us that it is, you guys all get a ton of sales after like over Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend and after that. But in this final push, like if it's not feeling like what you thought it would be, it's all right to be disappointed by that. But also let's like look towards the future and make plans. There's this balance between them, I think sometimes we focus so much on like the strategy and okay, this isn't working. So let me try this new channel. Let me put all this content out there and like just throw spaghetti at the wall. And sometimes it's not really about the strategy. It's about taking a step back and having that like bird's eye view to your business and saying, okay, what does the big picture look like? What's outside of my control? What's in my control? What's working right now? I know I just talked about this in a recent episode, like what's actually working that I can focus on right now, but also looking outside of the business and actually looking at yourself, like what you have capacity for, what you can hold space for, because you might want all these big things to happen in your business, but if you don't actually have the capacity, the universe isn't going to really give it to you because they're going to be like, hey, you haven't really dealt with all those things that are happening. Like you're going through something really hard in your personal life. So we're not going to give you all that success that you want right now because you need to deal with that other thing. And that's why it goes back to like, it's okay to hold space for both things. And it's okay to really navigate those seasons and really give yourself grace. If you're going through a really big life pivot or life change, there might be a reason why business is slow if it's slow, On the flip side, it could be like you're going through things in life and like you need space. So I just wanted to share this conversation, not so much to give you all kinds of tips and business advice, but just to say that the holidays bring up a lot of things, a lot of feels, and particularly if there are things happening on top of that in your personal life, in business, whatever those things are. And I just wanted to give you a few minutes in your AirPods to say thank you for listening. And I want you to just give yourself grace this holiday season and find time to really just sit with your feelings and give yourself rest. Because I think that this is really that time of year where we start to wind down after a really big year that we just came off of, no matter what that looked like for you. And so you want to give yourself rest and really just kind of honor how much work you've done this year. So I'm going to take a couple weeks of a break here. So I will be back in January, on January 6th with a fresh episode. And I'm wishing you all a really happy holiday season and an awesome new year. And I'll see you in 2025. If you're ready to take your wholesale business to the next level on Faire, I invite you to check out the Faire Bootcamp. It's the only program of its kind that combines a step-by-step growth approach to optimize and stand out on Faire and buyer relationship building strategies to capture the attention of your ideal retailers, both on and off the Faire platform. With bite-sized, action-focused trainings, the Faire Bootcamp is designed to deliver results as quickly and efficiently as possible because I know you are busy and you do not have time to waste. So to learn more, head over to kristenfishercoaching.com/Faire Bootcamp. Thanks so much for spending some time with me today. If you are loving the show, I would be so beyond grateful if you would rate and review the podcast and share it with one of your biz besties to help spread the word. I hope that you absolutely crush your sales this week. I'll be back to chat with you next Monday.